Welcome to BikeBeat, and today we're taking a long ride through the details of one of the boldest cruisers to make waves again in 2025, the Kawasaki Vulcan 2000. This isn't just another bike, it's a statement, a return to an era where displacement meant dominance and torque was king. Over the next while we'll dive into what makes this monster machine worth talking about, how it rides, how it looks, how it compares, and what you'll need to pay to bring one home. So settle in, because this is more than a spec sheet breakdown. This is a real look at what the Vulcan 2000 means for riders today. The Vulcan line has always had a special place in Kawasaki's lineup. It's the brand's cruiser identity, the bike that carries the image of long, low, powerful rides across big highways and through city boulevards with a presence that can't be ignored. The Vulcan 2000 in particular has had a near-mythic reputation among big cruiser fans. When it first arrived years ago, it turned heads with sheer displacement over 2,000 cubic centimeters, a figure unheard of in most mainstream production motorcycles at the time. And it wasn't just about numbers. The delivery of torque, the look, the stance, and the comfort made it an instant cult machine. Its revival in 2025 is more than just a reissue. It's a sign that Kawasaki still believes in the philosophy of bigger is better when it comes to certain motorcycles. Let's talk about that engine, because it's the centerpiece. A 2,053 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled, fuel-injected V-twin that produces torque figures north of 140 pound-feet. What that feels like in practice is pure grunt from the moment you let out the clutch. Roll the throttle in second gear and the bike surges forward without hesitation, with a deep rumbling soundtrack that only a large-bore V-twin can provide. Unlike some bikes that beg to be revved high, the Vulcan 2000 delivers its character at low RPMs. This makes it ideal for long highway stretches where you don't want to constantly shift, the power is simply always there. Riders who are used to smaller displacement cruisers often describe riding the Vulcan as like suddenly having endless reserve power under their right wrist. It's confidence-inspiring, especially when overtaking semis or climbing mountain passes with a passenger and luggage strapped to the back. Now, of course, with great power comes great size. The Vulcan 2000 is a heavyweight, tipping the scales north of 800 pounds ready to ride. This is not a beginner's bike. At parking lot speeds, that heft makes itself known, and wide handlebars are your best friend when maneuvering. But once moving above 15 miles per hour, the weight disappears into a sense of planted stability. On the freeway, the bike feels like it's carved out of granite. Wind gusts, road imperfections, and even the buffeting from large trucks don't upset it. That stability is one of the true joys of riding something this large. You feel secure, grounded, and in command. Suspension has been carefully tuned to handle both comfort and the demands of carrying such weight. Up front are thick forks that provide a reassuring front end, and at the rear is a preload adjustable monoshock. Set it softer for solo city cruising or firm it up if you're riding two up with luggage. Braking is equally important on a cruiser this size, and Kawasaki equips the Vulcan with dual large front discs and a single rear disc. They're not sport bike sharp, but they are progressive and confidence-building. ABS is expected as standard in 2025, adding an extra layer of safety on wet pavement or in sudden stops. The styling of the Vulcan 2000 is unapologetically bold. This is not a subtle motorcycle. The fuel tank is massive and sculpted, stretching out in front of the rider like the prow of a ship. The engine itself is a piece of art, with large cooling fins and chrome accents that glisten in the sunlight. The dual exhaust pipes sweep along the side and announce the bike's presence long before you roll into view. LED lighting updates give the 2025 model a modern touch while retaining classic cruiser proportions. Expect big chrome headlight nacelles, wide fenders, and finishes that combine blacked-out components with gleaming highlights depending on the trim level you choose. Sit in the saddle and you'll find one of the most comfortable cruiser positions in the game. The seat is wide, deeply padded, and low enough that most riders can easily flatfoot at a stop despite the bike's size. Forward set controls let your legs stretch naturally, and the bars are wide enough to give leverage without forcing you to lean forward awkwardly. Kawasaki clearly designed the ergonomics for long-haul comfort, and on the highway this becomes evident. Hours pass with less fatigue than you might expect on such a brute of a machine. Riding the Vulcan 2000 isn't just about specs or features, it's about the experience. Imagine rolling out at dawn for a long ride to the coast. The engine starts with a deep thrum that resonates in your chest. As the sun rises and the road opens up, you settle into fifth gear, the engine loafing at low revs while the scenery blurs past at highway speeds. You don't have to think about whether the bike has enough power to crest the next hill or pass the car ahead, it simply does. Pull the throttle, feel the surge, and watch the horizon get closer. It's in those moments that the Vulcan 2000 makes sense. Of course, the cruiser world is competitive. Harley-Davidson offers its Milwaukee 8-powered machines like the Road Glide and Fat Boy, and Yamaha's Star Venture has its loyalists. Indian's Chief lineup also appeals to riders who want classic American cruiser looks with modern performance. So how does the Vulcan 2000 fit in? The answer lies in displacement and value. While many of those rivals operate in the 1,700 to 1,900 cubic centimeters range, Kawasaki's 2,053 cubic centimeters figure is still one of the largest in production. That gives the Vulcan a bragging right and a unique selling point. If you want one of the biggest V-twins on the market, this is it. Kawasaki also tends to price aggressively compared to its American rivals, meaning you might get more cubic centimeters per dollar. Still, this isn't a perfect motorcycle. Fuel economy is modest at best, with many riders reporting figures in the low 30s miles per gallon. In an era where efficiency and emissions matter more than ever, that's something to consider. The sheer weight of the bike makes it less than ideal for city commuting or constant stop-and-go traffic. And while accessories are available, the Vulcan doesn't have quite the same aftermarket ecosystem as Harley or Indian, which can limit customization options. But for riders who want a reliable, powerful, visually stunning cruiser that stands out, these downsides are often accepted as part of the deal. Let's talk about money. Back in the day, the Vulcan 2000 sold new in the mid-teens in US dollars. With inflation and new features, the 2025 model is expected to come in somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 depending on trim and location. That positions it below some Harley touring models but above many mid-range cruisers. For what you're getting, a 2,000 cubic centimeters monster with modern updates, that price could be seen as fair. In markets outside the US, particularly in places like Europe or Asia where import duties are heavy, the final sticker price could be much higher. Who is this bike for? It's not for new riders or those who want something nimble in the city. It's not for fuel misers or those who value lightweight handling. This bike is for riders who want to make a statement every time they ride. It's for those who crave the feeling of endless torque, the comfort of a true cruiser seating position, and the presence of a bike that turns heads at gas stations and stoplights alike. It's also for long-haul riders who want to spend hours on the highway without worrying about whether their machine can keep up. That's our deep dive on the 2025 Kawasaki Vulcan 2000. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe to BikeBeat for more honest, detailed motorcycle content. And let me know in the comments, what do you think of Kawasaki bringing back this legend? Is it the right move in today's market, or is it a bold gamble on a bygone era of big displacement cruisers? Until next time, ride safe and keep chasing the horizon.